Good morning, everyone. We're doing something a little bit differently today. Today is Remembrance Day. It is 11 o'clock. So I will invite everyone at this time to take a breath, and we're going to take a moment of silence in observance of Remembrance Day. They went with songs to the battle. They were young. Straight of limb, true of eyes, steady and aglow. They were staunch to the end. Against odds uncounted, they fell with their faces to the foe. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of sun and in the morning, we will remember them. Thank you all very much. So welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Toronto on this Remembrance Day. It's a beautiful day outside, isn't it? Yeah. So a couple of things I want to let you know about. First of all, my name is Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living, and we've got some stuff that's going on. First of all, I forgot to make the sign-up sheet. I meant to do this. So CPR, the next CPR starts tomorrow. CPR, Core Prosperity Relief. It's a course of sorts through the Global Truth Network. It is to reset your mind into prosperity and into abundance. And the way that it works is, here, I'll move this because it's that whole thing again, right? I always have to move this microphone. To reset your mind into a consciousness of prosperity, you spend 15 minutes every single day for 30 consecutive days listening to James Mellon on the telephone. And he gives you brilliant insight and wisdom, and it has turned people's lives around. We are a participating center, and what we do is basically, if you are a member of this center who participates in CPR, it costs $20 to Global Truth Network, but anything that you make in unexpected income, your commitment then is, if you're participating with our center, you give 10% of that back to the center. Not to Global Truth Network, to the center. So it's in all of our best interest to participate. Anyway, what the sign-up sheet was, I was going to put a sign-up sheet out there. Maybe somebody will be willing to do this, to put a sign-up sheet. If you would like to sign up here and pay your $20 here in the bookstore, I will make sure that you are all registered and you have all the information you need by tomorrow when it starts. It is, the calls are at 8 a.m. every single day, 8 a.m. Eastern time, because, no, they're 11 o'clock. They're 11 o'clock Eastern. I know. They're at 11 o'clock Eastern. If you cannot make the live call, though, you can always call in and get the recording. It's also posted on an internet website. An internet website. Don't I sound like I'm from 1990? On an internet website. So you can listen to a recording of the call on the internet as well. So if you are interested, please sign up for that in the bookstore, and we'll get you all registered for that so you can start the program tomorrow. Also, Tuesdays, continuing the Edinburgh Lectures of Thomas Troward here, that class on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. right here. I love Thomas Troward. This past week was like, wow, like it really like nailed it all for me. It's those chapters. Anyway, continuing on the Edinburgh Lectures of Thomas Troward. On Tuesdays, Wednesday nights, we have Science of Mind 102. The Nature of Effective Prayer is the portion of the course that we're teaching right now. Come, learn how to pray, learn how to incorporate prayer into your life so that you can turn your life around, if that's what you choose to do. If you don't choose to turn your life around, recognize that everything you're saying is a prayer. Think about it. Also, Saturday, November 17th, the women's group will be meeting right here at the center, 10 a.m. Also, we have a board meeting coming up on November 27th. That's a Tuesday evening. That'll be at 7 o'clock. That's the week after Troward has been completed. If you are new to our center, we do have a mailing list. If you'd like to sign up for a mailing list, we'll let you know what's happening here at the center on a weekly basis. Also, we're always looking for volunteers in the tech department, downstairs with the kids, and in the bookstore, in handling social media. If you're interested in being a volunteer of any sort, and we love our volunteers, here's the deal. I don't make this center happen. The volunteers make this center happen, and I am so grateful to everyone who steps up and volunteers for the center. If you'd like to be a volunteer, you can speak to me about that after the service, or speak to anyone on the board. Margaret Ann, who is our volunteer coordinator, is not here today, but you can speak to any one of us. So we're happy to help you with that. We do have a Spiritual Mind Treatment request box. Spiritual Mind Treatment is our form of affirmative prayer, and if there's anything that's weighing heavily on your heart, fill out the form. Put it into the request box, and it will be handled in prayer for you. We do also have practitioners who are here at the center. I'm a practitioner. Helen Dino Brega is a practitioner. And if you would like to have a prayer session following service, I've already got 2 booked today. But if you'd like to have a prayer session following service, you can speak with Helen. Are there any other practitioners here today? No, it's just you. Brilliant. So you can do that. Avail yourself. Don't leave here with anything weighing on you. That's the most important thing. You have the opportunity right here and right now to turn your life around and change whatever it is that is weighing on you. So if there is anything, and I'm not affirming that, but if there is anything, don't leave here with it. Leave it here. We'll take care of it for you. We'll put it out in the garbage for you. All right? So welcome again to the Center for Spiritual Living. We have a great day lined up today. I was not excited about this talk all week, and then I'm really excited about the talk I'm going to give today. And I don't know that that means anything. It's just that's how I feel. It may be because I went to bed at 7 o'clock last night. And as Gail said, if you thought I had energy before, get ready. First of all, let's take a look at our songbooks, and let's read together. On the inside of the front page, of the first page, let's read together this section, What We Believe. Now, I want to talk a little bit about reading things together, because we do set it up as a ritualistic sort of thing, right? And then we come up and we're like, well, we're not a church, but we do ritual, you know? Ritual is for you. And I love doing things in community, because it helps affirm an idea for every single one of us to recognize that we are all in this together. And that's a lot of what I'm talking about today. We're all in this together. So let's read this today. I believe that the spiritual and material universe are one. I believe that whether I call it God, spirit, energy, or universal consciousness, every person, place, and thing emanates from this one creative source. I believe that spirit is an infinite, loving intelligence operating in and through all life, never separate from anyone or anything. I believe in cause and effect. I believe that it is done unto me as I believe, and as I think, so I become. I live this now, and I rejoice in it, and so it is. And so it is. So I'm going to invite you now to take a look at, this isn't in your songbook, but it's very easy to catch on. Very easy to catch on. I'm going to invite Helen Dino Brega to the platform. we haven't talked about this. I'm going to have you treat in the middle of the chant.
Okay, cool.
Okay, but you're going to need a microphone, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, you know what? I'll sing on this. She's going to use this to speak. This was very well planned out. Can you tell? So before we go into treatment, though, I'm going to invite you all to take a breath, close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. And today, being a day where I'm really interested in understanding and affirming community and what community really means, recognizing that we are independent, but we are also interdependent. What I'd like to do is simply breathe into this understanding. Breathe into this. Recognize that you are not alone. You are not alone. Anytime you may feel alone, anytime you may feel something at odds with community, there's always, always someone there. There is always something there, for we're all connected by this one power. We're all connected by this one energy. And today I give over to that understanding. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. That's the whole thing if you'd like to join. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one.
Here I am, a finger in the hand of God. Not just me and 7 billion other people. I am joined by my humanity, by my sincerity, by my experience of this life. Released by all appearances, I don't compare my inside to anyone's outside. Unique flowers in the garden of life, and yet all a part of the garden. Thank you, God. Thank you, fellow man and woman. Thank you, everyone on this planet, for contributing to my good. It is all good. And I release this benevolent universe to unfold as it will. And together we say,
And so it is. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. One people living on one planet, joining in one family. We all are one. We all are one. We all are one. Thank you so much. Thank you, Helen. We are one people living on one planet, joining in one family. It is up to each and every one of us to live this and understand this, however, to really come to the understanding that there is a connectedness, there is an energy that connects us all. And this energy is good, it is God, it is love, it is who you are. You were born from this energy, you are expressing as this energy. And so, with that, I'm going to turn it over to our music team, who, this is one of my favorite songs, and you'll understand. Aaron Hughes is going to sing it for us, and boy, I love hearing this man sing. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because you'll understand, so I'm just going to turn it over to you guys now. Thank you so much.
1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living a life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will is one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Somebody had some good foresight. Sometimes you just need to take a moment. Can you imagine those things? There's, oh, wow. There's a thing. You can come on. I can see you're waiting for it. You can come on through. I'm just taking a moment. It's okay. Imagine there's no heaven. Imagine there's no hell. Imagine there are no countries. Imagine. The truth is, here's the truth. You know what I'm going to say, don't you? None of it exists. None of it exists except as a construct in our own mind. We've decided that heaven and hell are things. We have decided that countries and borders are things. We have decided that we have to be at war when we're at war. You know, today is not about, you know, some people have, I've been seeing this kind of debate on the internet about Remembrance Day and about what does it really mean. And there are some people who say, well, they refuse to wear the poppy because it glorifies the war, which is, it's like, no, it does not. It's an understanding of the sacrifices that have been made to help us all live in community and to really understand that there is no need for that. There is no need for it. It's ideology. We've made it up. We've made it all up. None of it is real. So when we talk about, when we sing the song, imagine there's no heaven, imagine there's no hell, that seems to be what I'm stuck on today. That there is, it being a construct in our minds, the truth is God is free of all of that. God is free of all of that. The divine source, the creative power, the one thing that's going on, God, that's it, love. Love is the creative source of the universe. And from that, all of this has been created. All of this has been imagined in a mind, in a universal mind, and we're all experiencing it, and we're all contributing to it. And none of it really is real, except that we have decided to experience it in this particular way. Today's kind of a big talk. I mean, it's not a big talk, but it's like, it's a big idea. Because this is really, the big idea of this philosophy, sometimes I feel people have a very hard time grasping. Because I get up here and I say, you are God, you are God, you are God, you are the essence and the creative aspect of the divine, and you're individualized, unique, expressing from this place, and you have God at your command because that's who you are. But it's a big idea. Can you really understand what that means? Have you really embodied and come to a deep understanding of what that really means? In the Declaration of Principles, which was written in 1927 by Ernest Holmes, and it's been read here in service a couple times. There's one thing that I looked at today, and it really caught me, especially in light of what today is. In the Declaration of Principles, Ernest Holmes wrote, "We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul forever and ever expanding." None of us are alone. We are individualized expressions of this divinity, this divine energy, this love, this peace, all having at it in our own unique way. And it never ends. Our experience on this plane of action will seemingly come to an end someday for each and every one of us. But life is eternal. What happens beyond this plane of action, I don't know. Do we come back? Are we human again? I don't know. I don't claim to know that. But what I do know is that if God is eternal, if God is infinite, and we are that which is, infinite means there can be nothing else. It means that God never dies, therefore we never die. It's just logic. if we are the energy of the Creator as the created, and they're one and the same thing, we're not separate from it, we never die. Our individualized expression, our immortal soul carries with us into the next thing, and into the next thing, and into the next thing. So today is Remembrance Day, which marks the armistice. November 11th, at the 11th hour, the battle stopped. The war wasn't over, by the way. The fighting stopped. The war wasn't over till 7 months later, 6 or 7, when they actually signed the Treaty of Versailles. That's when the war was over. But the fighting stopped. So today, on this day of remembrance, the question is, once the fighting stops, how do you move forward? How do you move forward? Once you've come to an understanding that there is no need for the fight to continue, and I'm talking now about the fight in your own mind. Once you have decided and understood that the fight is no longer required, how do you move forward? One of the things that's been happening this week, which is funny that it all leads up to this perfect moment of expression. Everything's always working out for the highest good, right? Because I'm not going to dwell too much on the war. I'm not going to dwell too much on the fighting. Except it is interesting, because one of the things I wanted to look at was, since 1918, when the armistice was signed, where in the world, throughout the 20th century leading up to today, has there been war? Do you know that there has been war someplace? It has never ceased since that time. At some point, at some place in the world, there is war happening. All the time. We may not be actively engaged in it, but it's happening. And so how do we move forward? What do we as a community do to lift up humanity, to lift up our brothers and sisters to a deeper understanding that there's no need for it, that we are all parts and aspects of this divine energy, that this is what we are living? How do we do that? Because you know what? We are responsible. If it's happening in the world, if it's happening in this plane of experience, whether you are actively engaged in it or not, if you are aware of it, you're responsible for it. What are you going to do today? What are you going to step up to do? How are you going to move forward? Part of the Centers for Spiritual Living, the larger organization, part of the vision statement is that this organization is creating a world that works for everyone. Creating a world that works for everyone. This is what this organization is committed to. And the reason that I mentioned earlier that this has kind of come up this week is because, again, the ministers listserv, like the email thing that's been going on, there's been a question. How do we create a world that works for everyone? And there are some ministers who go to the place where I actually go, which is we don't. We don't. We don't create the world individually. In fact, we've got things that we creating amazing lives we have written on our wall. And I like to now say we're creating extraordinary lives. That's our local vision statement. It's our vision statement here at this center. Creating extraordinary lives. Creating a world that works for everyone. Do you believe it's possible? Do you? Are you living it? That's the crux of the whole thing. If you're not living it, then what are you doing? Feels good on a Sunday though, right? Yay, we're going to have service. We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate life. But once you leave these doors, what are you doing every single day and every single moment to recognize the divinity of on the faces of every single person you encounter? Because that is how we start to create extraordinary lives. To live with this understanding and this embodiment that every person we see, every person we encounter is God. I use the G word, and I use it proudly because it's an understanding. There is no separation between me and God. I am that which is. You are that which is. It's who and what we are. Are you on board with me with that? Yes. Absolutely. Thank God for that. You know why we cannot create extraordinary lives? You cannot create anything that you are for anyone else that you are not willing to create for yourself. If you are not living an extraordinary life, don't expect to create extraordinary lives in the people around you. This is a teaching. It's a teaching. You know, we call it a religion sometimes, we call it a philosophy sometimes, but ultimately what it comes down to, this is a teaching. It is a tool that you can incorporate into your life. We teach specific methods of spiritual practice. We teach specific ways of lifting yourself up beyond the fray, beyond the appearance of circumstance in the world. Gail, 7 o'clock I went to bed last night. You called it. I did get up 4.5 hours later to thunder and lightning, which was exciting.
And you're carrying it on.
This is a teaching. We are a teaching philosophy. What I am committed to, number one, what I am committed to is helping you to incorporate this into your life. And then I ask the question, okay, and this is not to be judgmental, but you come here on a Sunday. Is that enough? No. Why aren't you all in class? Some of you are. And you know what? You're at choice. I'm not saying you have to be in class. You're at choice. But here's the deal. For me, class is where the rubber hits the road. Class is where you learn the practical aspects of incorporating this philosophy into your life. So if you really are committed to creating extraordinary lives for yourselves and thereby creating extraordinary lives for other people, I would invite you to start coming to class. You know, and it sounds boring, I know. The Edinburgh Lectures of Thomas Troward, right? It sounds boring. It's like, oh, the nature of effective prayer. Mental muscle. Mental muscle. By the way, okay, so I'm going to announce this. I really wasn't planning on announcing this, but since you brought it up, I'm doing mental muscle a little bit differently in the spring. First of all, I'm going to go with, I wonder if James Mellon is watching, because I'm now going to say that I'm going to his paradigm. I'm probably going to start it the week after I get back from the Vancouver conference in late February. We're going to do the whole thing online. What that affords me to do is to bring in more than 10 people. It means that every single one of you, I can facilitate mental muscle for 100 people by doing it online. So that's going to be the new paradigm in the spring. Just so you're all aware. There will be sign-ups probably in December and in January for that when we get around to it, because I've been thinking about it, but now I've committed myself to it. You see how that works? Now I have to do it. I need a teleprompter, by the way, Tanis, just so I'm just putting that out there. Oh, you'll be off the board by then. I need a teleprompter, Tony. Yes. Yes. So classes, teaching. How do you incorporate this into your experience? That's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you can learn to do it effectively. And the possibilities and the ways of incorporating this philosophy into your life are infinite. Do you know why that's the truth? Because God is infinite. I cannot stand up here and really, I can give you tools, but I can't tell you how you really incorporate this into your experience. I can just give you some ideas. I can give you techniques. I can give you methods, just like any teaching. Any teaching will do that. Since truth is infinite, this is another Ernest Holmes quote. Since truth is infinite, there is room for eternal expansion so that man passes from glory to glory. Since truth is infinite, there is room for eternal expansion so that man passes from glory to glory. You want to be lifted up? Really understand that. The truth, with a capital T, the divine, is infinite. Since you are an individualized expression of that, that means you are infinite. How many ways can I say this before you really get it? So I talked a little bit earlier about the war consciousness that has been on our planet nonstop since the armistice. In some location or another, there's been war happening. Do you choose to be insulated from it? Do you choose to be insulated from it? What is your worldview? Is it narrow? Is it closed in? Or can you expand to see that one alone in consciousness constitutes a complete majority? You, an individualized expression of the divine, has at hand the infinite nature of God flowing through you. You are a complete majority. It does not take a community, although it can be more powerful in community. But you are at choice. You are the one. You are the one who constitutes a complete majority to make change in this world. Have you ever had this experience? I talked about this in class the other night. Okay, so, because I have to do translations in my head from the United States to Canada. So you walk into Service Ontario as opposed to the DMV. You walk into Service Ontario and you've got a long line of people there. Been waiting here forever. Oh, I wish they would hurry up. Oh. So you've got this all ahead of you, right? What is your responsibility in that moment? To understand the truth. You have a choice. You are at choice in that moment to either take the energy that you're experiencing and give into it and let that be your experience. But one alone in consciousness constitutes a complete majority. Do you know that your change of mind through whatever method, use spiritual mind treatment, go into meditation, do whatever it takes, your change of mind can change the entire room. Are you willing to step into that role to understand that you have the power within you to affect entire communities of people? Are you ready for that? It is a responsibility, but it is your responsibility only so that your experience is one that you want to have. It's not about changing other people. It's about your experience, and it sounds very selfish. I get it. It's like, well, I choose not to, have that experience. So I'm going to have this experience because it's not that I'm better than everyone else. It's that you can affect people. You can affect people simply by changing your mind. So what is your world view? Are you there willing to step into eternal expansion so that you can move from glory to glory, as he writes? Are you willing to do that? I see some head nods. You're thinking about it. Well, maybe I can do that. Oh, yeah. Perhaps that's possible. Maybe. I don't know, because, wow, there are these things that are going on in my life, and does that really support good living? Oh, gosh. See how it happens? You start to make these decisions in your own mind. You start to give in to these decisions in your own mind. Your entire energy just deflates. And you start to live from the decision you have made. I was here a year ago. How many of you were here a year ago? Do you remember my being here a year ago? Can you believe that it's been a year? When I came up here and I said, yes, my first response to your center is, oh, it's really quaint. A year ago, I was moving from glory to glory. I was looking at a new creative possibility for myself, a new way of expressing in a whole new community. I was being led where I needed to be led and trusting that where I was going was right. And there was some really interesting, remember, so this weekend, the second weekend of November, would be akin to the second weekend of November last year, which would have been my second weekend presenting to you as the nervous candidate for to be your minister. And I opened it up to a question and answer session. I got some really interesting questions that day. One along the lines of, are you really clear on what you're giving up? Are you really clear on what you're giving up? And I think I answered, yes, I'm very clear on what I'm giving up. Now, a year later, I can say, look at what I've gained. The other one that was great. Do you realize you're moving to a new country? Yes, and thank God. You know, I also talked a little bit about the understanding that Toronto has always called to me. For 15 years, I've been thinking, I'm going to live in Toronto someday, and who knew that this was the way I was going to get here. Yes, I realized I was moving to a new country, but I was also committed to wherever I needed to be, wherever Spirit was leading me to be, that's where I would end up, no matter what. If it meant that I was living in Zimbabwe teaching this philosophy, then that's where I would have gone. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to be standing in front of you. And I'm so proud of this community and for the leaps and bounds in consciousness that we have all taken together over the past year. The other question that came up was, do you really have to use the word God? Yes. Yes. Because I don't look at God as a scary thing. I don't look at God as something outside that's judging me. I don't look at God in the same way that many people who come to this philosophy look at God. People are drawn to this teaching because it teaches that you have the power, that you are at choice, and your choice sets the direction of your life. There is nothing outside of you that is pushing you in a direction. It is who and what you are. You are God. You remember for like the first 3 months, I would say at every single service, I would say, you are God. I would look in people's eyes. You are God. You are God. You are God. You are God. It's who you are. Why are you afraid of it? It's just a word, really. Remember at the beginning I was talking about all of these things that we've constructed in our mind? This concept of God is something we have constructed in our mind. And here I am telling you it is the basis of who you are. Any idea that God is something outside of yourself is a construct and is not real. Except to the, see here it is. Except to the degree that you allow it to be real in your experience. Because that is a decision you have made. And where your decision goes, your life goes. My favorite question from last November, it was November 13th. Gail. And I'm going to quote it for you. 11 winters in LA. Are you sure you want to come here? I know I haven't. I didn't last year. I got here in the middle of a very balmy January. I'm open to it. I know, because now I'm thinking about when I did get here in January and I kept seeing this word toque, right? People had written it down for me. I'd never heard it. And I'm glad that I heard it before I said it because I kept looking at it thinking, toque? This is a liberal country. So in answer to your question, are you sure you want to come here? Yes.
And you bought a toque, right?
I've got many toques. I came with a lot. When I told my friends I was moving to Canada, everybody went out and got knitting needles. Are you sure you want to come here? Yes. Ministry calls me to where I need to be. So today I ask you, what calls to you? What calls to you? What compels you in your life to move forward? What is that thing? What is that thing within you, that passion within you that motivates you and pushes you forward, pushes you beyond the boundaries of your comfort level? Do you think that it was comfortable for me to pack up my entire life and move here? No. But it was what I was compelled to do. What compels you to move forward? One of the Ernest Holmes quotes that came up this week in class on Wednesday night, that is a very important quote. For me, one of the most important quotes in this entire philosophy. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. And that's really the basis of this entire talk today. What is happening in your conscious awareness? What is happening in your world? What are you consciously putting your focus on? Because whatever you consciously put your focus on grows. So if it is that experience at the Service Ontario, we're like, oh gosh. If that's where you're putting your consciousness, your conscious awareness, that's going to be your experience. To learn how to think is to learn how to live. And I'm reminded to say, I am never, ever going to be up here telling you what to think. That's for you to decide. This philosophy is simply a tool to encourage you in a way how to think that is constructive and forward-moving and affirmative, that will grow you in your experience. So what are you passionate about? What compels you to move forward? Because put your focus on that. Stop putting your, and here's another distinction. Do not put your focus on why you can't have that. Because the more you put your focus on why you can't have that, the excuses, you will create more of the excuses. And you will distance yourself more and more and more from what it is you state you want. So today I'm going to state something that I want. This is going to come as a surprise. I talked about it in class. It's going to come as a surprise probably to many people in positions of leadership here. You're off the board in January 10, so you get to relax and just watch it unfold. I have a vision for this center that does not include this space any longer. We are too big for this space. Our consciousness is too big for this space. This space has served us well, but it does not reflect who we are in consciousness. And I refuse any longer to accept that this is the space for us. We need to be out there. We need to grow. We need to incorporate more community. Here's a way in which I would like to do that. I don't know where it's going to happen, but I'm going to start looking. We're going to find a nice big center. Within that center, we are going to have a sanctuary. We are going to have a space. Yes, I don't know how many people it'll seat. My idea is that it'll seat like 200 people minimum. 200 people minimum. Here's the thing. We make that space our own. We all contribute as a community to lifting and creating this space in consciousness first and foremost. From that place, what I also see is that we are a 100% full-time spiritual operation. It is not just coming here on Sundays. It is not just being here in class on Wednesday nights. It is having a full-time community space where people can drop in and be spiritually fed. If that includes yoga classes, meditation classes, if it incorporates science of mind classes, if it incorporates multi-denominational classes from other faiths, The understanding is that any path to God is the right path. I choose to really, really embody this because I don't want to say that they're wrong and we're right. That is not what I stand for. We're all right, and we're all right. The moment I put my mind on they don't have it, they don't understand, that's the wrong place for me to be. It is my responsibility to lift up the world, not to find excuses to suppress it. I may not agree with everything in other faiths. Doesn't mean they're wrong. Does not mean they're wrong. So I want to find a space where we can bring in and incorporate other faiths as well. I also want to have a full-time coffee shop and bookstore. And a place to eat. Sure, why not? Because what that does is it sets an intention of affirmation. It sets the intention of affirmation. It says, you are welcome here. Anytime. You are welcome here. You are welcome here to come and explore what spirituality means for you. Not what you think I need to tell you about spirituality. What does it mean to you? And how are you going to incorporate it into your life more thoroughly? I am not afraid anymore. Okay, so I'm going to admit something to you. I've been living this year a great deal in fear of finances. Did you see my letter on Friday in the email? If you get our Friday email, I would encourage you to go read what I wrote. It was all about money. Because I choose no longer to be afraid of looking and thinking, oh, we're living in lack. Because remember what I've said today? If I'm looking and saying, oh my gosh, we're living in lack and we just don't have enough and how are we going to move and how are we going to do this? I create more of that. Today I stand firm in uplifting this center into a deeper understanding that it is abundance which we are living. Because that's who and what you are. You are the abundance of the universe. Are you ready to accept that?
Yes.
Yes? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. So are you with me on this vision? Yes. Because here's the thing. The vision's going to change. The vision is going to grow. The vision is going to transition and develop into what it really needs to be for service to the entire community. That's what I'm committed to. Today, let Remembrance Day today be a day where we understand that our greatest gift is choice. Our greatest gift is the fact that we get to live whatever life we want. We get to choose what that is. We are no longer going to allow ourselves to be subject to that stuff out there that does not support the highest good of who and what we are. So today I choose to live love, and I choose to live joy, and I choose to live peace, and I choose to live prosperity and abundance. These are the virtuous choices which we all have at hand, and our capacity to live them is unending because we are God. We are the infinite. We are that which is always, always unfolding for the highest good of this world, of this universe, and always, always infinitely expanding and evolving into greater expressions. I support today the continued evolution of this idea by means of each and every one of us, that we are simply lifting ourselves up towards that divine consciousness that cannot be stopped. I have turned into a Southern Baptist preacher. The truth is, the reason why is I am tired of sitting by the sidelines watching the world go by. I want to live this life, and I trust you all want to live this life too. Can I get it? Amen. This is the opportunity. This is how we create a world that works for everyone. This is how we create extraordinary lives, by first and foremost committing to live extraordinary lives ourselves. It is this day that I remind us, every single one of us, that that is our purpose. Our purpose, and I'm gonna paraphrase Maya Angelou, our purpose is not just to survive. Our purpose is to thrive with passion and compassion and humor and style. Something has changed today. I no longer allow these walls to contain me. Because you want to know the minister that you brought in a year ago? Here he is. Now you understand why I need a bigger space.
But I still don't understand the teleprompter.
Actually, I'll tell you, the only reason for the teleprompter is so that I can put my computer screen up there so that I can watch the chat as people are chatting back to me so that I can actually have responses in real time to people. That's why. Yes, I do think these things through. I don't necessarily need to sit out and write out everything I'm going to say. Because if you saw the talk that I'd actually written today, you'd be like, what? But that's it. I am not allowing myself to ever be contained again. Are you going to allow yourself to be contained? No. Right now, affirm with me. I am expanding beyond measure.
I am expanding beyond measure.
And I refuse to be contained.
I refuse to be contained.
Because that's not who and what I am. I am God.
I am God.
And that's what I stand for.
And that's what I stand for.
Namaste. So I should go to bed at 7 o'clock on Saturday night again.
You probably need a nap now.
I will tell you, sometimes spirit just takes over. Always, spirit takes over. So I'm going to invite, so we did launch our stewardship program. So speaking of vision, and vision has to be supported in some way, and now in this world, we support some visions by way of finance. So I'm going to invite Tony Matthews, who's going to speak to you. He's on our stewardship committee, to speak to you a little bit about our 2013 stewardship campaign. Yeah, please. Thank you, Tony.
I'm so excited to have to follow that. The next time I am asked to speak before you all, I will be calling him at 9, at 10, and at 11, just to keep him awake. No, I could never stop that, obviously. We know that. The first thing I wanted to say up here today was I was going to make some lame excuse for this half-grown mustache. It's Movember, and so I'm not going to make an excuse because I am using my face to draw attention to men's health, prostate health, mental health.
Yay.
And if I were running a marathon, I wouldn't apologize as I was halfway through my training.
That's
I
right.
assure you, I am not running a marathon. These are notes I had to talk to you about how this teaching and how this center have impacted my life. Every single thing I have written here was just said. And that's not because, oh my God, everything Jonathan says I follow so well. That's because, oh my God, I have learned that it's all one thing. Trying to think when I started. It was about 6 years ago, maybe 6.5 years ago in Los Angeles that I first came to this teaching. Formally. I first came to this teaching initially, apparently when I was born, because it just was there. Like so many of you, I'm the youngest of 10 children. 9 boys, 1 girl, 2 if you count me. Like so many of you, I grew up Catholic. I went to university, got a degree in aerospace engineering. I became an actor. I produce animated films. It's the same story. We've all heard it over and over again. One of my passions is learning about people's beliefs, people's spirituality, stuff like that. And for years I've been studying. Joseph Campbell's a huge influence on me, and I really love learning. And learning is a wonderful thing. And if you don't do anything with what you learn, it's a really nice Discovery Channel special. But as much as I love the Discovery Channel, I apparently have a life to live, and I really want to live that life. The stuff that I learn here, as has just been said 1,000 times, is what lets me do that. The people that I meet here are the teachers that point me in the right direction, that give me great advice, that occasionally serve as cautionary tales. Present company speaking. There are experiences we go through in our life, and if my experience was I loved learning, I had these challenges, I had these difficulties. I get to big effing problems. I get to a dark night of the soul. Then you can't just learn. You gotta do it. A teacher. The first place this really showed to me that, hey, if I do what is suggested, it's gonna work, actually was money. Again, I raised Catholic, so money was evil. This thing called the body, that shouldn't exist, that was an accident. A gross oversimplification, again, I don't want to talk about someone else's path. That's just some bad race consciousness that got into my head early on. Things like that. I came here, I learned the tools, I learned a lot of suggestions, and money just oddly was the first place that it went from, okay, right, I'll give it a try, whatever, to, holy crap, how did that happen? But it's not just money, it's my career, it's my creative life, it's my ability to write and stand up and make fun of a mustache and things like that. Applying this is what works. And everybody here, as has been said, is on their own path. One of my great Joseph Campbell things is talking about the Arthurian legend, about this great quest. And in this quest, each of the knights went out and entered the forest primeval where there was no path. Because to take that path is taking someone else's route. We're all here to take our own path. So right there, that's like, okay, I'm here to take my own path. Why am I standing in a community and working on the board and trying to be a part of a community? It was said this morning. I'm individualized version of this experience of the universe. And you people are the people that I get to run into right now to help point me that direction. Holy crap, that's neat. That's just what I need. And I have so many notes, so much of what he said. So what I'm learning is one of the greatest things I learned in the era of my dark night was I can choose to live in that problem, or I can choose to live in a solution. And not only is the solution better and it gets you out of that, but it's fun. It's cool. It's musical. It's theatrical. It's hugs in the morning, not just here. Okay, that's one thing. California hugs a lot more than we do. We need to start stepping that up. But that's a personal opinion. That's my path. So why am I up here talking about my path? Because I have a vision. It was just stated recently. I have a vision for this life, and it gets to happen. And the reason I know it gets to happen is I'm doing it. I'm living it. And I'm living it because I'm learning great tools, I'm learning a great teaching, and I am surrounded by the love and the intelligence and the wisdom of a fabulous community. And this is where I am right now, and this is where I'm going to stay right now, because this matches the vision of this life. And this light is going to shine, and it's going to light up some other people, and some other people will come this way. Some other people will come this way and keep going to whatever is their path. And that's great, because I'm going to learn from them, they're going to learn from us. I invite everyone here to let that light shine, to let it come here. Bring more people here. Bring your life here, because your life attracts life. Your light attracts light. Your light attracted me. I am completely taking credit for getting Jonathan here. But I can do that because really, it's all one thing.
Yeah.
All right, so I've been going on for a long time here. I just want to say, this is one other thing. In North Hollywood, where we both had come from, their concept of membership is not about you need to be a member and make a commitment to the center. It's you need to make a commitment to yourself. Are you going to choose to be an active participant in your life? I chose that about 6 years ago. I have loved every minute of it. Things have been hard, but I don't perceive hard as, I'm the victim. Well, okay, sometimes I do, but I have ways of reminding myself. I now perceive it all as this is part of this journey, and you're a part of this journey, and I love that. You're a part of this journey, and I love that. And you're kind of stuck with me. Deal with it. And I'm going to do my best to make sure I am stuck with you, because that is what this means to me. I'm going to keep doing it. I invite you to do it. Just do it, people. Thank you.
Thank you. So now for the more pragmatic aspect of it, please do take a look at the stewardship program. Really what this does is it allows us to make plans for 2013 in a financially, fiscally responsible manner, so that it's not saying, you must give us all your money. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, please let us know what your commitment to yourself and to the center is, first and foremost, so that we can plan accordingly. This center will grow by your commitment to it. So I appreciate and thank you all for taking a look at that. The packets are out in the lobby. I do apologize for the big typo, which I will now point out to you because I've mentioned it a couple times. I had an extra O in questions about.
That's how we say it.
Well, but okay. So if okay. But yeah, this went through so many iterations and so much checking and so much checking and so much checking, and then we printed 100 of them, and Deja brought it over. She says, "Did you see this?" Anyway, you know what? It's all perfect. It's the way it's supposed to be. So, and I'm not going to waste trees to print more. So, this is also the time where we do give to the center in our affirmative giving. So whatever you are offering to the center today, I first of all want to say thank you so much for your gift, and I trust and know that this gift moves on from this place to enhance the world, because that, as you've heard today, is what I am committed to. I am committed to enhancing my own life, thereby enhancing your life, and it goes out in ripples so that we enhance the world. So let's sing together. What are we singing today? Where's my
God is my source.
God is my source, which is number 13 in your songbooks. I encourage you to stand and celebrate the abundance that you are as the baskets go around.
1, 2, 3.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything that I need. Love is my source. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. For all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I
Please join me here as we get very present to abundance, to a vision, to life unfolding opulently. There is one spirit, one beautiful energy flowing, giving, receiving. It is the energy that is in money, that is in abundance, that is in each one of us. I feel it and hold it now. And I release this energy to unfold, to grow. This blessing in these baskets represent generosity, kindness, and for each one of us that we may have more and more and more, expanding this church, this ministry, each of our lives. I know this is true. I really, really do. I've seen it in my own life, and I see it for every person here. I let go of this confidently, knowing it is done as it is done in my vision. I release, I let go in deep, deep gratitude, and together we say, and so it is.
Thank you so much, Helen. So I'm going to offer some thank yous up, and then I'm going to have this young man come up and talk to you. First of all, I want to thank Lena for doing our meditation today, for stepping in, leading meditation. As always, Lucy, the fact that you come in and you clean this place is brilliant. I want to thank Aaron and the band for that beautiful, beautiful offering of songs. I want to thank Aaron, and Brian, Patrick, and Bree, Stephen in the booth doing double duty, playing and mixing today.
Electric guitar.
I want to thank Hai Lu for making sure that we get sent out to the internet. I want to thank Tony for your contribution today. I want to thank Helen for being our practitioner today. I want to thank all of you for being here today. Our greeter today, Wim, and I want to thank Linda for setting up, and I want to thank Fred and Tony and Jim. I want to thank Jim, just because he's Jim. I want to thank you for being our board members on duty today. I want to thank Mark and Mahala for running the kids program today. It's so brilliant that they always do. Mark and Terry, who are in the bookstore today, thank you so much. So I'm going to invite Riley to come up here, and here's what's going on. So you know that I'm committed to the youth program in this center, right? And I'm committed to teaching and leading by example. And so what I have done is we're launching our outreach program for the holidays today. We're launching it today. Is the tree's not up yet. Okay. What's happening? Here's what's going to happen. There's going to be a tree in our lobby. The tree is going to have ornaments on it. Will you tell them what's going to be on those ornaments, please?
So on the ornaments, we're gonna have like just a little note, and you're gonna, if you want to, you can pick a note, and it'll say an age appropriate, and you'll have to buy a gift for that age.
So the youth program has been down decorating the ornaments today, so that they can get put up and put on display for you all. Go ahead and take that ornament, take it, and go buy an appropriate gift. This is all in support of the Red Door Family Shelter. Yeah, please, make it a brand new gift, unwrapped. No guns, no toy guns, things like that. Just to be very clear. There are plenty of opportunities to support, and we've chosen to support the Red Door Family Shelter this year. So I encourage you to avail yourself. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You going to stand here with me? All right. I'm going to come up here and sing. You want to come stand next to me while I sing? Okay. And then I'm going to treat. Is that okay? Okay. So I do. I have a commitment to youth because this is where it's at. You want to change the world? Teach this philosophy to these guys. Not because it's the right way of thinking, but because it is a way of thinking that is constructive and life-affirming and supportive. Are you learning good things down there? You have to say yes now because you're in front of everyone. But I think to myself, if I had had this teaching when I was his age, how different would my life be? This is where it starts. So I encourage you all to breathe. I'm going to breathe now as we take this final moment of benediction, the understanding that God is right here. God is right here. Each and every one of you is a perfect divine point of light, shining forth infinitely into this experience of life. I claim this right here and right now. I claim it, and I breathe into this. I breathe. When I forget, we are one, and I regret things that I've done. I go within my heart and soul. I start again, knowing I'm whole. God is right here where I am. I am right where I should be. As I fill my mind with peace, I feel it washing over me. God is right here where I am, flowing in and out through me. In this moment, I am free. It's right here in this moment, the only moment that exists, that I am free. We are free, for freedom is an aspect of this divine energy, the only divine energy, the one thing going on. Love, light, life, peace, power, beauty, joy, God. This is all that's happening. Each and every one of us is a perfect, unique, individualized expression of this divine energy, living and breathing and having our way as this energy. Consciously leading lives that are good. This is what I claim right here and right now. I claim expansion, and I claim deeper awareness, and I claim that what has been spoken here today goes into the world profoundly, that it affects exactly who it needs to affect in a deeper way, in a more constructive way, a way that evolves the entire race. I trust and know that this is the truth, and I simply give over to this understanding as I release this word with such deep gratitude in my soul. I know that this is the truth, and I simply let go. I let God. I allow it to be the truth. I know it is so, as together we say, and so it is.
when things go wrong and my way is dark, and when I lose my song and life breaks my heart, I go within my heart and soul. I start again, knowing I'm whole. God is right here where I am. I am right where I should be. As I fill my mind with peace, I feel it washing over me. God is right here where I am, flowing in and out through me. In this moment, I am free. In this moment, I am free. And so it is. Thank you all so much. Let's celebrate this. Let's kick it out into the street with, what are we singing today?
Peace like a river.
Peace Like a River, which is number
10.
10 in your songbooks. Thank you all so very much. Yes, you can.
I got to peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got the joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain. I got joy like a fountain in my soul. Come on, Steven, give me a little electric guitar. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. You wanna take it nice and quiet now? Ready? I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river.
Hey, Zach.
I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I
great week, everyone.